with the reporting this weekend and today, we're getting clarity on why exactly Ben Simmons wants out. And it's not just because he's salty about Embiid and Rivers. It's because of the belief that he can be the number one.
All eyes were going to be on the Philadelphia 76ers media day. And Daryl Morey came out and he said that he started comparing the Ben Simmons situation to Aaron Rodgers. And he had said, look, last night I saw there was 3,000 pounds of ink or whatever the term he used was used on Aaron Rodgers. And there I just watched Aaron Rodgers lead his team to victory in the final minute of the game last night. And so we expect Ben to be here. We're hopeful that he's going to be here, on and on and on. You knew that we would get the other side of the story. And Sam Amick from The Athletic put out a story this morning saying I love sources with intimate knowledge of Ben Simmons' thinking.
Intimate knowledge.
Yeah. Said that Daryl Morey's press conference yesterday was bullshit. And that he's out. And that he doesn't want to play with Joel Embiid anymore. And he was looking for houses in Houston last year. And it's, look, we are water under the bridge.
You think the source is Rich Paul or Kendall Jenner?
I don't know. Not Kendall.
Intimate knowledge. Maybe it's,
come on. She's with Devin Booker now.
Oh yeah, that's right. A salty ex, maybe spilling news. That could be it too.
I don't know. But
chasing down sources here.
I do know this, that someone told Sam Amick that Ben Simmons thinks it's all BS.
So this touches on something I got a report coming out today on The Ringer.
Right.
I can confirm what Sam said. Ben Simmons does not believe that he can maximize his potential playing alongside Joel Embiid. What I learned with conversations yesterday and over the weekend touches on what Daryl Morey said at Media Day. Morey said that about 6 or 7 weeks ago, they went out to LA and met with Ben Simmons. So here's what I've learned from that meeting. It was Doc Rivers, Daryl Morey, Elton Brand, and their team owner, Josh Harris, and they went out to meet with Ben Simmons over Rich Paul's house. So it was just Simmons and Paul on the Clutch side, and then those 4 guys from the Sixers. And from my understanding is that they came all prepped, with like stats, video, thoughts, and ideas on how to convince Ben Simmons to stay with the Sixers, come back to training camp, or at least understand why he wants out. And that whole time, that whole meeting, he didn't say much at all. He wasn't giving them anything. And it just seemed like Rich Paul and Simmons were just not giving them anything. So they had nothing to fix, nothing to convince them of. It was really just the 4 Sixers guys talking. And at one point, because he wasn't saying it was because of the fan reaction, it wasn't because they tried to trade him. He wasn't saying it was because of the Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid comments after the game. Doc Rivers asked him, is it because of your offensive role? Can we do something else for you with your offensive role to get you happy here? And Simmons simply responded with no. But Doc then responded anyway, saying how they plan to use Ben Simmons this year. And he told them that Embiid and Simmons are going to stagger more often. And then when Embiid is off the floor, they're going to put Simmons in positions that sort of resemble what Giannis has in Milwaukee. Tobias Harris and Georges Niang would play at the 4 and the 3 with Simmons at the 5. They'd have shooting like, Seth Curry, playmaking like Tyrese Maxey in the backcourt. And they want him to be in positions to just thrive, attack the rim, and score like Giannis. And that's what Simmons wants too. The thing is as Sam reported for The Athletic and as I'm reporting here, Simmons just wants more of it. Because if he's in Philadelphia, Embiid's always going to be the number one. As long as Embiid is healthy, he's always going to be in there at the end of games, and meaning Simmons can't offer much because he can't shoot, because he can't run pick and roll. So that means Simmons is going to just be Jahlil Okafor out there doing a whole bunch of nothing while Embiid is posting up. And so for Clutch and Simmons, over the weekend, I was just thinking about this situation, Chris, which is why I started talking to people about it. And I remembered Simmons' rookie year back in 2018. He had a big game against the Cavs. He had 27, 15, and 13. This was the game in April where he basically just clinched Rookie of the Year over Mitchell. And I texted someone from Clutch the following morning about that game, just saying, wow, amazing what Ben Simmons could do without a jump shot. An incredible year for him, incredible performance. And they responded to me, quote, going to be the face of the league in 4 to 5 years. Clutch believed then, and they still believe now, Ben Simmons can be a face of the league. And so obviously that hasn't happened. Now over 3 years later, he hasn't met those expectations that Clutch had for him. But my understanding is their belief in his potential has not changed at all. It's just a matter of where he goes and when it happens and whether the opportunity and the situation and the environment is there for him that they believe he deserves. The question here is, will there be a team willing to build around Ben Simmons? Is a team built around Ben Simmons even a good team? Is that a contender? Is it a good playoff team? What are they? A team that's built around Ben Simmons. And so with all of this, though, with the reporting this weekend and today, we're getting clarity on why exactly Ben Simmons wants out. And it's not just because he's salty about Embiid and Rivers. It's because of the belief that he can be the number one.
Can I add to your report? After they got no response from Ben Simmons, Elton Brand walked over and started playing the piano because he had heard it worked so well for David Griffin
did you
with
see
Zion.
Did you see Griff say, I don't even play piano? and then Zion's like, I'm not going to let no grown man into my hotel room and play piano for me.
So that was all just made up, fake news.
Oh my God.
Dang. I wish it was real. Anyway,
That's
back to your
great.
original point. What I thought was most fascinating about what you just talked about was the whole Giannis thing.
Yeah.
Because I would play that card if I'm a, massive Ben Simmons believer.
Oh,
I just watched a guy score 50 points in an elimination game. He can't shoot. Is everybody sitting around talking about how Giannis Antetokounmpo can't shoot? Is anybody sitting around talking about how Giannis can't shoot?
No, if anything, people are saying Giannis shouldn't shoot so much.
Right.
That's what people say about him. And by the way, I'll tell you that, Chris, they might say that about Ben Simmons this season. If he comes out just firing from the perimeter, people might be saying stop shooting. That could be the case this year.
Well, I did talk to Jaren Jackson Jr. yesterday because I had seen his clips playing in the summer. He was with a group in Los Angeles that was working out with Ben Simmons. And I said, look, on Instagram, you see the 4 clips over and over again. And I was like, but you're playing in all these games. I was like, does he really shoot? Like, is he shooting a lot like when y'all are just playing? Mm-hmm. And he said, he's like, I'm guarding him most of the time in these games. We're never like on the same team and I'm guarding him. And he's like, so I know what he wants to do. He goes, A, he does shoot. And B, he tries to get to that mid-range a lot now. But he said that's not just 4 clips. Like, he does shoot.
How much is he making, though?
And he said he's been working with that guy. I can't remember the guy's name. There's a guy a bunch of them work out with in LA, so forgive me. But that he's been working on the shot all summer. That's what he told me. Just take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
We'll see if it reaps any benefits.
If we even see him play, this could take a while here, because through my reporting, one of the things that was interesting to me is, it doesn't seem like anything's close right now. So many teams at this moment are sticking with what they got. As has been widely reported, offers to Philadelphia has been just draft picks and young players. And the Sixers want somebody who can help them win a championship right now. So, we'll see how this plays out. But I personally wouldn't expect anything to happen until December. It's just a matter of if before that point, Ben Simmons decides to say, I don't want to be fined tens of millions of dollars. I'm going to play through this until I'm traded and try to improve my value. Or if he does indeed decide to sit out the whole freaking year or as long as it takes for a deal to happen. This could get ugly, Chris. Ugly.
It may just be a massive game of chicken, but he did, in that Amick article of the sources with intimate knowledge say,
Kendall Jenner.
They say he is not showing up. They seem rather resolute. If you read that article, at least as of today, it's like they're delusional if they think I'm showing up. I'm not showing up.
I buy it. I think it's an odd strategy. But maybe
you think he really won't. even if it starts costing him a lot of money.
I don't know. I mean, once you start seeing that money get drained,
I know.
Especially, I mean, I forget who reported it, but I guess like he gets paid half of his contract over the first X amount of months. So like the way the contract is structured, like Clutch front ends a lot of their deals. So he could get fined like a huge percentage of his contract because of the way it's structured at the beginning of the season. I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. Ultimately, though, like you said, Chris, there are believers in Ben Simmons who do. I mean, look, they're not wrong. Playing with Joel Embiid, the pro of that is that you're the best defensive combination in basketball. Because of the rim protector that Embiid is, Simmons is allowed to just roam on the perimeter and be aggressive as he is to be the dynamic defensive playmaker that he has become. On offense, I mean, it's not perfect, but it works at a high level because Embiid is such a dominant low post scorer. Ben Simmons is so dominant in the open floor. It can work. But Embiid being in the low post, especially late clock situations, fourth quarter situations, Simmons doesn't offer anything there. The question is, that the believers say, okay, you put him in situations where he can play more in the open floor. The doubters say, okay, sure, plug him into a Giannis situation. Giannis is an all-time level finisher at the basket. He shot 63% on shots on drives to the rim last year. Simmons shot only 53% when driving to the rim last season, only 46% in lineups in which he was the center on drives to the basket. He is not an all-time level finisher like Giannis. In fact, he's been below average statistically. If you plug him into Milwaukee in place of Giannis, does that change all that much? That's what the skeptics say of him. So I look forward to seeing how this plays out in the sense that there are a lot of teams that would love to have a mid-20-year-old all-NBA guy in Ben Simmons, but how many of them want the future for Ben Simmons that Clutch and Ben Simmons want for him? That's where I look at this situation, and I'm not sure there's going to be a lot of teams that are aligned in that sense. There's going to have to be some compromise with his new team if a trade does end up happening.
You know what I was thinking about last night? I do wonder if this one is a little bit different. Clearly we know because it was mentioned from one side in the whole I was shopping for houses in Houston thing, that was the beginning of the end, right? There's part of me that sits back and wonders that if we all didn't know about that, maybe it was just something that was assumed, but now it is presented as fact and has been presented as fact for a long time that DARYL was, he was going to give up Ben Simmons, but he wasn't going to give up anything else. Like if you're getting him, you're getting him. That if that is such a sore spot and a regret for DARYL, that if you gave him truth serum, and he went back, he said, I should have just added something to it. I should have. I didn't think that they were going to move him to the Nets. Or I should have known that Tillman Fertitta was not actually going to do the deal with me. Or whatever.
They might have been used for leverage in that deal.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is that if that didn't exist, that now it's like, yo, at one point we're talking about you trading it for James Harden, and that's what you got?
Yeah.
That is, I can't do that now because that's going to make me look foolish. You know what I mean? I was the guy that didn't do the deal for James Harden. And so now fast forward a year, I've got a disgruntled player who's sitting out, and a year ago we're talking about James Harden, and now I just got, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's certainly
it's
that's
tough,
got to play a
man.
part in it, right?
I mean, but we'll see though. I mean, look, the fact is that the Sixers still believe they could get Damian Lillard. They still believe that's a possibility. They hired his shooting coach, his longtime trainer, Phil Beckner, to be an advisor for the Philadelphia 76ers. And that doesn't mean a lot in the grand scheme of things. Dame still needs to want to leave Portland, but like they're doing all the little things and they're also doing the big things. And that's allowing things to get ugly with Ben Simmons. As of now, holding out hope that at some point Dame or Beal want to be moved. And if that doesn't happen, maybe the flip side happens. Some of these teams with great expectations entering the season end up falling short of those expectations and then decide we're going to make, a quote unquote panic move for Ben Simmons here. Maybe a team that we've talked about like Sacramento or Golden State or San Antonio. These teams that want to make the playoffs, maybe they underwhelm and then they choose to make a move. Or maybe it's a team that we're not even talking about. And let me clarify this. This is not me reporting this name that there's any interest, but I'm just thinking about teams flying under the radar like a Chicago Bulls. They may have this big offseason. They have DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, Caruso paired with Zach LaVine now, and Vucevic. What if they underwhelm? Maybe a team like that would be like, we need to not only make Zach LaVine happy, we also need to make the playoffs. Maybe somebody like that would go for Ben Simmons. So I think the Sixers, personally, I think they're right to wait. I think the upside outweighs the downsides here in waiting, no matter how ugly things get. This team is still going to win games during the regular season as long as Embiid is healthy. They don't need Ben Simmons to win during the regular season. What they need is the best return to maximize their potential in the playoffs. They should wait.